It sounds ridiculous. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's the 1st of December, the stash is gone. I'm not staying in this particular car today. It is happening. We're going to be straight piping the Mrs. Suzuki Swift. I decided I'm going to do it because I can't be bothered buying an exhaust, waiting for the exhaust to come, and the exhaust falling off, so it needs sorting out. I've also got this on because it's absolutely freezing, so I look a bit like Craig David. I apologise, but yeah, that's the plan. So I'm going to move this car, grab the Mrs. car, go to the old man's, drag the rear silencer off, find a bit of pipe, see if we can make it fit. Job's a carrot. In a bit. So I'm in the Mrs. car now. Off we go. That Fiesta's well loud, but I'm louder because my exhaust's falling off, pal. Craig David. This is where we're at right now. Got the car up on the ramps, and I'll show you underneath where the exhaust just basically come off. So here we are. You can see the rear silencers in perfect place still, and then the rear pipe just there is just completely broken away from the back of the silencer, and it's dropped all the way down the car. You can see there, looks going right back to the flexi. It's dropped the exhaust. You can just see it there hanging down. The rear silencers mounts, if you like, to the chassis. The little bars that go to little rubber bushings. That's what holds up the centre pipe of the exhaust as well. So the rear silencer wasn't coming down, which is what I originally thought. Instead, the B pipes dropped down onto the rear beam there of the suspension. So first things first, silencer off. So silencer's off, nice and easy. Got the rear hanging mount there, the rear hang, front two hangers, little rubber bushings, and it goes just under here. That one, and one at the back, wherever that one's gone. Here we are, just up here. Little bush still is. That's the only one I didn't take off. It was just easier to take it off. Exhaust side rather than the chassis side. That's the pipe there. So the idea is that this should sit up like so, and we need to get a pipe that bends downward so it hits that little cut out of the bumper there. Welding a bit of pipe required, and that was the tab of metal there just in the centre of the screen. That tab of metal was the tab that I thought would probably last a bit longer, like a bracing sort of bar for the exhaust pipe itself. But yep, that snapped clean off, as you can see. It's not focusing very well due to the low light, but you get the idea. Anyway, I reckon it'll work. It's going to sound so loud. So yeah, you can see there, it's just a clean brake. Looks like it's going to line up pretty easy as well. So my initial thoughts on the previous video where we were looking at straight pipe in the car, I don't think it's going to be too hard. It's just getting like a bit of bar up to the top mount so we can put them same rubber bushings on. That's going to be the only problem really. I don't know if my old man's got a bit of bar that we can bend and manipulate and put into the same sort of position so that the exhaust is nice and flush. Although it will be a straight pipe, I still want it to look very, very subtle and very OEM sort of looking. The old school rear silencer does have an exhaust tip that it looks like we can steal. It's just a little bolt underneath. So we'll probably be stealing that and popping on this little exhaust tip so it looks, again, stock OEM. So that's the plan. So we're using a bit of an axle stand there just to hold the pipe in place where we need it. And it's to get that pipe there, just bang in the centre of the screen, just out here. So it's pretty much straight. I've got a few spare bits of pipe, probably off a Honda, most likely. What's that? It's off a diesel. It's off a Transit apparently. We've not got a bit long enough, so we're probably going to end up taking a section and a section, and then welding these two bits in a straight line just so it meets nicely. And there's a section there where the back box just bolts onto the centre pipe, just that bit there. You can see where the flange is bolted onto the centre pipe. So we're hoping we can just get a straight bit, the right size, welded on, then get it unbolted, get it welded properly. You know, we're just going to tack it on for now and then get it welded on properly and just get it hanging out the back. He says, in 100% confidence. So we're scrapping the S-bends because my old man's just given Carl a ring down the road, and he reckons he's got a 2.5 inch diameter pipe, a straight piece, 2 foot worth, and we need 55 centimeters exactly to get it to the bumper.
A few moments later.
So we've got a couple of new bits, big German exhaust. I don't think we're going to be able to use the original exhaust tip now because the pipe diameter is just too big. But what we did do is we had a captive nut there that was welded onto the inside of this exhaust tip, if you like. And because we can't use that anymore, we've used 2 flanked nuts there on a bolt. We'll tighten them up, we'll get the bolt to the right length so it meets the pipe correctly. Tighten up them 2 nuts there and lob the end off of that bolt there, so it would fit nice, but I don't think it's going to work. It's basically the same size and this is supposed to be a cover. So there's this bit down here which is probably going to work perfectly, to be fair, just because of how it's got like a little kick in the pipe. So this little kick here, it bends down, if you can see that, and then back up. This section here will probably sit perfectly up to the bumper, and then we're also going to may use these tips here, or this one tip that's in good condition. Chop that off, buoy it up to it, have a nice looking little sports tip hanging out the back there of the Swift. So that's the plan now. That's what we're doing now. It's evolving quite quickly. It's going to look quite nice, that, isn't it? Is that the reducer?
Yeah.
Makeshift reducer. I'm just gonna reach with it. Yeah, it fits.
Nice.
It does fit. So that's like a reducer that we've cut off the rear silencer. That's the OK rear silencer from the knackered exhaust that we've just scavenged. This was the knackered rear tip from the silencer, and we've just stolen it to reduce the size of the pipe, or should I say enlarge, as the exhaust gases are coming out. So that fits on nice and snug, as you can tell. Might just be armour that on, you know, it'll be alright then. It's quite a bit bigger that, and it's going to be like a trumpet. It's going to make it fucking well loud. And then that bit with its little kink in, as you can see, will go into there, hang out at the back perfectly, so we can slap that bit in there. So this is where we are at the moment. You can see just down there, see all the way through the pipe. We're going to put a clamp on that section there, just so we can clamp it on and off. I don't want to take that flange off, take them bolts out, because that will just be a headache in itself, I'm sure. But we've got the reducer down to the old size of pipe, enlarging the pipe to the new stainless bit, and that's how it's hanging out. Now I'm thinking like Kanjizoku style, just, you know, or maybe something like that, just like straight up. Yeah, that looks good, Dad, what do you reckon?
No, definitely not.
You're supposed to say yeah. That looks good, Dad, what do you reckon?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
can make an extension that'll bolt on and bolt off if you want, so you can put it on and off at will.
So that is the finished product after we just finished welding it. That's where it's going to clamp onto the exhaust, that's where the silencer would have been, and then the tip is like an angled sort of tip. But yeah, it looks alright. I'm going to put like a bar on it now so that we can use the exhaust hangers and put it in the original position. But yeah, as I showed you earlier, it should look pretty good. So there we go, finished product side by side with the original. You can see there how we've sort of mimicked the hangers, how it sticks out a little bit more than the original one. Just got to throw it on now. So it's on. It's not the prettiest of welds. We're using a MIG obviously, and it's not TIG welded, but it is on, straight piped, everything lines up. The exhaust's off the axle stand now. But yeah, we had to basically modify some brackets. Got the exhaust rubbers lined up as best we can, but it's certainly not going anywhere. I apologise for the poor low light footage, but it's night time now in the UK, 24/7. It's lined up pretty evenly. So we'll put you down now for a first start. It sounds ridiculous. So that's it, it's done. I'm going to wrap it up and call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please hit the bell and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.